Hello guys, welcome back or welcome to the channel for the first time. We've gained quite a few subscribers here in the last couple days, so hello to all you new guys out there. And we're going to shed some light on a question that I think a lot of people are asking right now. You know, you're wondering, is the 2020 better? Is it worth, the extra money? You can get a pretty decent deal on a 2019 right now. What's changed? What's the same? All that sort of stuff. So let's dive into it. So what we have here, I will start off by saying I am not a sales guy in any way. I'm not trying to sell you on one truck or the other. These are both my trucks and I love each one of them. So this is my 2019 Ford F350 Power Stroke XLT Premium. This is my brand new 2020 F350 Power Stroke Platinum. This is brand new. This has about 40,000 miles on it. This is a year old. It's been worked. If you guys are checking in for the first time, check out my a video I just posted not too long ago on a 1-year review of this truck. But I plow with this truck, I tow with this truck, we go to remote cell tower sites. It's been used and abused, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever. You can see the plow mount on there. It has a 9'2" Boss V blade that I plow with. So it's a big heavy truck, a big heavy plow. You can see that I have done a couple cosmetic things to it. This did come with the chrome package, but I did Raptor liner, my front grille, my mirror caps, and my door handles. They were all chrome, just like are sort of on the Platinum over here. So just looking at the two trucks, visually and aesthetically, right away, the things that you notice that have changed is the grille and the headlights. You can see the headlights on the 2019 right through here are very squared off, whereas in the new one they are curved. And the reason why Ford has done this, because of the new power gains that this truck has compared to this one, they need to get more airflow in there. So this does allow more airflow. So let's jump into the power numbers. So this being a 19, this has 450 horsepower and 935 torque, already a monster. But this, with the new updated Power Stroke and the 10-speed transmission, this comes in at 475 horsepower and 1050 torque. Crazy numbers, guys, crazy numbers. You can also see that the fog lights have changed, whereas you got the big cutout there now, where you could definitely add some aftermarket ones if you want, but they're really sleek on top. So yes, of course, guys, this is not apples to apples as far as trim goes. This is an XLT Premium, this is a Platinum. So I'm not going to get into the differences between the two as far as that goes. I'm really just going to focus on what's different from the 19s to the 20s. I will do a video at a later date where I am going to have a 19 Platinum and a 2020 Platinum, and I'll show you guys the differences. Other than that, aesthetically, really the only change is the cab lights. The cab lights in the 19s are amber. The cab lights in the 2020 is clear with amber lights. And the valence has grown again. So it was bigger before, now it is absolutely massive. But guys, other than that, on the outside, that is really the only change. In the back, as far as the Platinum goes, I believe the actual Platinum, sort of this brushed aluminum look or chrome look here, has changed slightly. I believe the Superduty is much larger in the 2019s. Jumping into the inside, the only difference, and again guys, these are different models. So the only difference really on the inside is, the only real difference on the inside is the sync system. So you can see, the colors, sort of the font. When I get over to 2020, you'll see that that has changed. The other thing in the 2020 that's changed is that there is now, in the higher trim levels, there is a wireless charger here for your cell phone. Other than that, guys, the inside really has not changed at all. Okay guys, so now here we are in the 2020, and you can see that the font is different, the color scheme is different. This, I'm not 100% sold on this yet. I actually like the look to a point of the 2019 better than this. I find it harder to sort of read, like where the lines are, the changes from one thing to the other. I'm not sold on this yet. I'm sure it will grow on me. Other than that, like I said, there is a wireless charger here now, but that's it for the inside, guys. That is absolutely it. Well, I guess you got the trailer backup assist. This model does come with the electric assisted steering, the adaptive steering, but other than that, there's nothing really different in here at all. I will pop the hood and show you one of the subtle changes that I noticed right away, and I think a lot of guys will notice right away as well. Okay, so here we are looking at the 2019, and you'll see right away you got your airbox intake here, and then you got your battery, and then your airbox itself, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And most of the aftermarket air intakes you can get for this truck, they swap this. So they move the battery to the back, the box to the front, because you want to get air to the engine as fast as you can. Right now it has to come in here, go down the tube, around the battery, and then up to the airbox. Let's take a walk over now to the 2020. So you can see, boom, right here, right away, here's your intake, here's your airbox. Instantly, your engine is getting air. They've changed it, you know, obviously the updated engine, they need to get cooler air to keep the thing cool and to help push out that extra horsepower, so they smartened up. You can also see we've got some new aluminum parts here swapped out for previously plastic parts. Also, there's new pistons, new injectors, new air, new turbo, and a new fuel system. But I'll get into more in depth of comparing the engines from one to the other. But yeah, they've made some major changes with this. So guys, that's pretty much it for the walk around. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna jump in this truck first. I'm gonna go for a little drive, and then I'm gonna come back and jump in the 2020. And I'll just compare sort of how it feels to me. If you can notice the power gains, if you can't notice the power gains, sort of the MPG, how it feels, the ride quality, all that sort of stuff. So okay guys, here we are starting off in the 19. Reset my trip and let's go. Alright, we're off. So this of course has the 6-speed transmission, guys. That is the big thing, other than, you know, the power gains, but that is the big thing that is changed from 19 to 20, the new 10-speed. I will say that the number that's going to come back as far as MPG numbers is not going to be completely accurate. Obviously a pump-to-pump calculation is the best way to do it, but other than that, this truck does have 35, 12.5, 18 tires on it. So the tire size is a bit different, and the truck has not been, you know, recalibrated to that tire size yet. So the reading is going to be off a bit. But just right away driving the truck, I love driving this truck. This truck drives great. It handles very well for a big truck. The suspension is a bit stiff, but honestly for a 1-ton truck, it rides quite well. My 2017 250 did ride a bit smoother than this truck, but I almost like the ride in this truck better than in the 250. And then of course when you're towing weights and all that sort of stuff, obviously that's a million times better. But the truck, you know, you can't really hear hardly any road noise at all. No wind noise coming through. The engine is very quiet, you know, for a great big powerful diesel engine that it is. As far as brakes goes, you know, you just seen that vehicle stop in front of me and another one right now. The brakes are extremely smooth. There really is no brake dive, and that's because, you know, the suspension is that heavy and that strong that you don't get a lot of nosedive, brake dive. You honestly don't even really get much body roll in these trucks. Okay, so here we are. We're getting close to getting on the highway here, so let's do a little acceleration. So you can see it has no trouble whatsoever getting up to speed. Alright guys, so we're just getting ready to get back on the highway. I actually had to pull over a couple minutes after pulling my driveway because I forgot to throw the net over top of my load I had back there. So pull over, threw that over top, went and dumped what I had to dump, and now we're back on the road. So when I get down here, I'm actually going to pull over for a second, or come to a stop if I can, if no one's behind me, and I'm going to get a little bit of a pull in here, accelerating to get onto the highway. And I'll do the exact same thing with the 2020, and we'll see, you know, what the differences are. So no one's behind me. Okay, let's go. So you can see a turbo lag. Now we're going. Okay. So you can see there was a bit of turbo lag there, so I did not brake torque that. I just, you know, stepped on the pedal and away I went. So yes, in the 17s and 19s, there is loads of power, especially once the turbo gets spooled up. But when you first step onto it, there is a little bit of a turbo lag before you start moving. So when we get into 2020, we'll see. So here's some bumps right now. Does handle them very well. This does have the FX4 package, so it does have the upgraded Rancho shocks, which you guys can decide if they're an upgrade or not. Don't really think there's a whole lot difference from the stock shocks, which is why I decided to go with the truck I went with without the FX4 package. So it is extremely windy here today. So I am driving directly into the wind right now, but you know, here we are on the highway doing, you know, roughly 70 miles per hour. I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas and I'll just see if it downshifts or if it's able to just go. So it did just go, it did not have to downshift. So in this truck with the 6-speed, 4th gear is the 1-to-1 gear, and then 5th and 6th are overdrive. In the 2020, 7th gear is the 1-to-1, and then 8, 9, and 10 are overdrive. So there's 3 overdrive gears in the 2020. All right, so I'm gonna pull out here, and then we'll give it one last little pull. Little turbo lag, and now we're going. So you know, not bad. Lots of power, but again, there is some lag there for sure. All right, so there is the final MPG numbers, guys. 12.9 MPG. But like I said, that is not accurate due to the tire size. And I mean, also, I did just do quite a few pulls on that run. So I usually get somewhere between 16 and 20 MPG in this truck, depending on what type of driving I'm doing. So there is the number right there, though, that is up on display. We are now in the 2020. I had to run down and get myself a coffee. So we're starting off in a little different position here, but we're very, very close to where we left the first time. So I'm gonna reset my trip right now. So we'll see what we get on this run, but I will do the exact same thing. So right now we are at about 55 miles per hour. We're in 10th gear in 55 miles per hour, and we're at 1100 RPM. And if I want to go, which I'll show you in a second, it does just go. Here we are going around a sharp turn. The adaptive steering is great. It doesn't take hardly any steer to go around this turn. And now we're in 8th gear right now, just barely touching the pedal. You can feel the torque difference, guys. Like, you can definitely feel the torque difference. Obviously, you can, it's kind of hard to feel 25 horsepower change. It's there, but the torque is what you feel. And I'm sure the transmission, you know, you're feeling the two of them work together, and honestly, it's a pretty seamless marriage. The first 5 gears are pretty close together. The first 5 gears are very close together. You're never gonna go 1 through 5 unless you're towing extremely heavy weights and you're slowly accelerating. You're never gonna go 1 through 5 every gear. It's probably only gonna have 3 gears in that first 5 that you're gonna use on a regular basis if you start out empty and you just sort of accelerate how you normally would. You're probably gonna hit 5th, you're gonna hit 3rd, it might catch 4th, and you're gonna get 5. It might catch 4th. Sometimes it doesn't catch 4th, it's just 1, 3, 5. Now, the lower gears, if you do start out slow, you can kind of feel the lower gears a little bit, and then from 5 to 10, you don't really feel those shifts at all. Like the 6-speed that's been in there for a long time. So the lower gears, you do feel a little bit. But I can tell you, instantly when I drove the truck for the first time, I could feel a difference in the torque. Like, you can feel it. I said it feels a lot like the 2019 high output Ram that I drove. It feels a lot like that. Even in 10th gear, cruising at highway speeds, if you give it a little bit of gas, it just goes. It doesn't need a downshift. It just pulls in 10th gear like someone's behind you pushing you. That's exactly what I said that the Ram felt like when I drove the Ram that time. But when we get up to the highway here, we're gonna do an acceleration. I'll do the exact same thing. So we'll get 3 sort of pulls in. You guys can see how it acts. If the turbo lag is still there, if the turbo lag is gone, you know, with the new turbo and especially the new high pressure fuel system, that should pretty much eliminate the turbo lag or help it, at least, at a minimum. It should help it. So let's find out if that is the case or not. We're getting ready to merge on the highway. So we get a little pull in here. We're at about 30 miles per hour right now. Wow. 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 I was probably half throttle there, guys. And I could feel the tires. I could feel the tires slightly spinning. Not enough to take off traction control, but I was spinning in like 5th, 6th gear, 7th gear. Incredible. So basically 0 turbo lag whatsoever. I feel like I could hear the air getting sucked in. I feel like I could hear the air intake. I don't know if it was that or the tires or just the wind, but it honestly sounded to me like I could hear the air coming in. That was, yeah, so that's as hard as I've pulled this truck so far. Being brand new, I don't want to go crazy with it right off the get-go. And that was maybe half throttle, and that thing just took off. Like, this thing is an absolute rocket. Okay, so here we are. Now we're at highway speeds. We're cruising at 70 miles per hour. So before, in my last truck, which, guys, both of these trucks are 355 gears, the 19 and the 20. So in the 19, we were at 70 miles per hour, and we were at like 1700, 1750 RPM. We are now at 70 miles per hour, and we are doing 1550, 1600 RPM. So the RPM is certainly lower now with the 10-speed, which it should be with 3 overdrive gears compared to 2. So that should help on fuel mileage. There's no way that it shouldn't. Now, this truck being brand new, the mileage will get better. From my experience, having 3, now 4 of these power strokes from 17 to 20, the fuel mileage should get better after, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 miles, without a doubt. Okay, so we got no one behind us again. Let's do the same thing we did last time. Little turbo lag, and now she is going. Wow. Okay guys, so there was some turbo lag there with no brake torque. So no brake torque from starting at 0, starting at absolute 0, first gear. It did take a second for the turbo to spool up and then start to gain some power. And then it just took off. There was a couple of those gears there where it did sort of seem like it lost the power, and then bang, when the gear grabbed, it just hit. Okay, let's hit these bumps. So it does definitely, the suspension has been changed. They've definitely done some work to the suspension. It handles quite a bit different than what the 19 does. This suspension feels a little bit more like my 250 than it did my 350. It's like somewhere in between. But anyway, so getting back to, you know, what happened there. So on that one pull, now this was one pull, so this may not happen every time. There was a decent little turbo lag there, and then once it spooled, it was just like a rocket, like it just took off. Now there was one gear, I didn't catch it. I didn't get a chance to look down and see, but it feels like it skipped 2 or 3 gears there at once, and it went from like there was no power for maybe, I don't know, a quarter of a second or something, and then once it grabbed, it just bang, it just took off. It just took off. but there was some lag there in sort of two positions. So I'm gonna do one more little pull up here like we did last time, and it won't be from zero because I'll be kind of pulling out and then rolling and then going. Now guys, I will be doing a video, you know, 0 to 60 comparing the two trucks, MPG test comparing the two trucks, towing test comparing the two trucks. There will be lots of comparison videos from the 2020 to the 2019 in every, you know, real world situations. So stay tuned for those. But today is just like driving impressions. We're gonna come up to a stop here. So it's kind of weird that actually happened there with that turbo lag, because in the 3 days or 4 days, whatever it is that I've owned this truck, that's the first time I felt that at all. So let's get out here. We're in third. Wow, spinning. Spinning again. Spinning again. Yeah. Very, very, very small turbo lag there. Nothing compared to the last run, so there'll definitely be more pulls to come. I don't think it's gonna have that much turbo lag every time as it did on that second pull I did. I just spun my wheels there in third, fourth, and fifth gear. Pretty impressive. Hey guys, so 18 MPG on the run in the 2020. So the last thing I did want to show you is this right here. So the Ford My Pass app, and you can do so much on this. You can start your engine wherever you want, lock and unlock your doors. It shows you your distance to empty. It shows like so many things, guys, so many things. Your air pressure, you can set up, like let's say you go to work at the same time every day, you can set it up that your truck starts every day at that time, you know, Monday through to the following Monday. You can pick different days. It's pretty neat, very, very neat. I used it the other night. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go grab something. The keys were nowhere near me. I just popped the phone out and did it on this. So anyway guys, that is it for today's video in my walk around and driving impressions of the 2020 to 2019. In my personal experience, there is quite a difference. You can notice a major difference in power, handling, all that sort of stuff. They have made improvements. The 2020 is an improved truck from the 2019. Will the transmission hold up? Will the new engine hold up? Who knows? But as of right now, I can tell you that there is a difference, and it is a difference for the better. So anyway guys, I hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for the towing video comparisons, the MPG comparisons. Tons of videos coming out on this guy. Stay tuned for everything. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like it and you want to stick around. Take care and we'll see you next time. Bye.